time for business. Let's say hello to Marcus Carlson. Marcus, there was no great excitement out of Frankfurt this Thursday.
No, not major news, really. Or there was some news that there was no news, really. I suppose that's how you can qualify Thursday's message from the European Central Bank after it held its monthly rate-setting meeting. The European Central Bank is keeping its benchmark interest rate at 0.25%. That's a record low, but there are calls for the ECB to lower rates even further to stimulate the Eurozone economy. In a monthly press conference, ECB Chief Mario Draghi said the Eurozone economy remains weak, but he's not committing to a rate cut, rejecting claims that the Eurozone risks deflation. The prospect of falling prices would seem to be damaging for the Eurozone, but Draghi says it's unlikely to become reality even as the economy is weak.
As I said many times, we've got to be extremely cautious with this recovery because it's still fragile and it's still uneven. And it really starts from low levels of activity. But so far, it's proceeding.
Mario Draghi also insisting that the ECB would be ready to take action if it would be necessary to do so. Next, it's all change at Japanese electronics maker Sony. It's announced 5,000 job cuts and it's to place its TV business in a separate unit and sell off its PC unit. The radical overhaul was announced at Sony, as Sony said it expects a full-year loss of $1.1 billion. Charlotte Hawkins has more.
A huge disappointment for Sony. The Japanese electronics company is to stop making computers, as it expects a net loss of $1.1 billion in the year to the end of March. Its previous estimate had been a net profit of $300 million. Sony will sell its PC unit to a Japanese private equity group. It will also split its loss-making TV division into a separate unit. All this means the company will have to cut 5,000 jobs by March 2015. It's a major blow to Sony. Demand for its products has been dwindling, and it's been struggling to compete with Apple and Samsung in the smartphone market. Its one bright spot has been its gaming business. The PlayStation 4 sold more than 4 million consoles in the first 6 weeks after its November release.
Let's bring you some more corporate news. German car maker Daimler is revving up. It says it expects a rise in both sales and profits this year. The forecast came as the Mercedes maker reported a fourth-quarter operating profit of €2.5 billion. That's 45% higher than during the October to December period back in 2012. Mercedes has fallen behind rivals BMW and Audi in terms of sales, but it aims to introduce 30 new models before 2020 to regain the top spot. General Motors fell short of expectations when it announced fourth-quarter earnings. GM made $913 million, 2% more than during the same period in 2012. But analysts, they were hoping for more. GM is doing well in North America, but it's being weighed down by weakness in Europe and South America. And more vehicle news. Swedish truck maker Volvo says it'll cut 4,400 jobs. The company had previously announced 2,000 job cuts, but is now expanding that plan. The announcement was made as AB Volvo unveiled a 37% drop in fourth-quarter profits. The company's chief executive says the next few quarters will be tough as Volvo introduces a new generation of trucks. Now, global stock markets, they're having one of their better days this Thursday, at least after we've seen some weakness over the past couple of weeks. Over in the United States, we're seeing gains across the board, really. Traders, they're looking ahead to Friday's all-important jobless report. There we have the figures this hour. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up around about 1% this hour, whereas the Nasdaq is up 1.1%. In Europe earlier, stock markets also closed in positive territory. The euro was also seen to be trading higher as the ECB refrained from cutting interest rates. Now, let's take a look at one stock in the spotlight this session. Shares in Twitter, they are tumbling over on Wall Street. They're down more than 21% this hour on this session. It comes in the wake of Twitter's first quarterly results After going public in November, between October and December, the micro-messaging site lost $511 million. But what was even worse, though, for investors was the modest growth of new users. The French plane maker Dassault is going to have to wait before India buys its Rafale fighter jet. The Indian defense minister says there's not enough money at this stage to finalize the purchase now. He says it will take until after the Indian elections in May before a deal can be done. India and Dassault are in talks over 126 fighters for around 11 billion euros. The deal is seen to be crucial for Dassault. Brazil recently chose the rival Swedish fighter Gripen, and the Rafale is looking for a vitamin injection. Let's listen.
Negotiation is going on because of the shortage of money. This financial year, don't expect any finalization of the agreement. Next year, by that time, I think the process will continue. Next financial year, I hope that the process will be able to complete.
Okay, the wait will continue there for Dassault and for the Rafale and for all of France, really. This is a deal that we've been talking about now for months, if not years. And with that, I'm going to wrap up the business news, and it's back to you, Francois.
All right, the wait continues. Thanks for that, Marcus Carlson with the day's business news. This is the time when